What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the recent protests that have been happening in Mexico City. I'm sure a lot of you out there, maybe all of you, have seen them. It's where they're protesting against the foreigners who are coming in and, as they say, gentrifying neighborhoods in Mexico City. So this isn't the first time we've seen this happen. This has happened in Mexico City last year, several times, throughout these last few years. It happened in Oaxaca as well. So I'm just going to run through it really quickly, let you know if you need to be worried about this. Short story, no, you don't. But I'm going to go through it really quickly so you all can understand a little bit about it and just kind of, give you a background story. So basically, if any of you have ever been to Mexico City, you know that it's a great city to be in, but there are certain neighborhoods that are very, how can I say, exclusive, premium. You have Roma Norte, you have Condesa, Juarez, you have Polanco, you Santa Fe, and different ones. But the thing about it is that these people were protesting against the higher cost of living because Mexico City is a hotspot for digital nomads. So a lot of them come from the United States, they come from Canada, they come from the UK, Australia. So, and because the prices are attractive, generally here in Mexico, as a lot of you know, it's quite affordable to live here. So for, people that are like us, maybe we're making US dollars, Australian dollars, euros, pounds, wherever it may be, we come to Mexico, we set up our life here, we work remotely, and we pay these prices. Now, I can't speak as a Mexican, right? I mean, I'm a resident, but I didn't grow up here. I wasn't born here. I don't know how it is to grow up in a Mexican lifestyle, in that kind of environment, to know how it feels. So I'm speaking on the outside looking in, and as a person who's lived here for 5 years, just to kind of give you a little bit about what I've learned, what I see, and what's pretty much going on. So most recently, they were doing those protests, and they were walking around the streets. Unfortunately, they were harassing people. They were, saying stuff like, delete gringos, if you know what I'm saying, spray painting it. And the unfortunate thing is that they were destroying their own city. I can understand the frustration. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But destroying your own city and doing these things are not going to help your cause, right? So that's one of the things that they were doing. Not only that, though, you could see videos of them that were destroying businesses, kicking down the glass, just vandalizing and everything. Now, what does that get accomplished? Nothing. Nothing gets accomplished. And if you look at it in hindsight, they're destroying their what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, their fellow Mexicans' property. So you're not causing anything to happen. You're just causing more people to lose money and have more stress put upon them because you all couldn't not you all, but they could not protest in a peaceful way. So I get it, protest against things you think are unjust, but to attack people, to threaten people. I mean, there were people that were in gyms. They were like throwing stuff at the windows. Like, you never know if they're going to throw a brick or something and you're trying to lift weights and then you get glass in your eye, It's actually crazy. So I can't sit there and say they don't have the right to protest because they do, but it was just a crazy thing. And, a lot of people were looking at that. And I saw some other YouTubers that make content about Mexico that live here, oh, is it safe for me as an American or as a Canadian or wherever they're from to go there? They have this resentment. Let me tell you, it still is safe to come to Mexico. The vast majority of Mexicans don't have any problem with foreigners. They welcome foreigners. They're very welcoming people, and they like meeting new people. They're very welcoming, welcome to their house. You know what I mean? Just generally really nice people. So none of you have to worry about that. And I can understand how you would feel that way. You may think you have a target. I mean, here in Guadalajara, there's nothing like that going on, thankfully. The expat community is not so huge as it is in Mexico City. But, these sentiments happen, but they usually don't last that long. There'll be a couple days of protest. It blows over. So if you're planning on moving here, don't feel bad. I mean, you are contributing to society if you're spending your money here. If you're here legally, you're doing things the right way. You're putting money in other Mexicans' pockets because at the end of the day, gentrification is not only on us as foreigners, it's on the Mexican landlords who are raising the rent as well. Now, this is not exclusive to Mexico. This is United States, Brazil, Japan, wherever it may be, any country it may be, they are pricing out their fellow citizens. And at the end of the day, it is a business, right? So I can understand it like, okay, well, these foreigners can afford it. Like, I can make extra money. And for them, it's like, pennies, less than where they're from, right? And it's true, it is less. I mean, when I was living in New York City, for the apartment that I got now, that I've been living in for over 2 years, I mean, I'll be paying for a room, sharing it with other people. So it is amazing that you could take your dollars, you could take your pounds, you can take your euro, whatever higher currency you have, come here to Mexico and have a good life, right? So I say, come to Mexico if that's what you want to do, right? Don't feel bad that people are going to go against you. The vast majority of Mexicans are not against foreigners, gringos, how it may be said, and they're very welcoming. Of course, you're going to find some that really don't care for some of us, but, not everybody everywhere is going to like everybody, right? That goes to their country. So that's to be expected. So long story short is, even if you want to go to Mexico City, don't be afraid, And with that being said, there were some valid criticisms about people not respecting the culture. And these are from the Mexicans that were protesting, because not everybody was going crazy, but there were some things that people weren't respecting the culture, refusing to speak Spanish. And I agree with that. Like, if you're going to someone else's, country, it's like going to their house, right? Respect the rules and make an attempt to show them, because they're not obligated to accommodate you. You go to Japan, learn some basic Japanese. You go to Brazil, learn some basic Portuguese. People appreciate it. They don't expect you to come here and speak fluently and to be some type of language, linguistic wizard. They just want you to respect their culture and don't assume that everything needs to be in your way. Now, I know you guys out there are a very smart audience. So, I know I'm probably preaching to the choir, but I just wanted to make this video because, I know there's a lot of misconceptions thinking that they're against all gringos and these things. It's not the case. Mexicans are great people. And not only that, Mexico has a large economy. Well, a large part of the economy is from tourism. So you're not going to find everybody hating against that, because a lot of people live from that across the country, right? So yeah, you all, if you're out there seeing that and it kind of like rubbed you the wrong way and make you feel like you shouldn't come here, come to Mexico if that's your plan. It's a wonderful place to be. People are going to accept you. You're not going to be looking over your shoulder, feeling for your life just because you're a foreigner. Not everybody holds resentment. That's a small population of people. Just be respectful. Just, try to speak Spanish. And if you already speak Spanish, you're halfway there. And just be respectful of the culture and, understand that, you're in a different country and certain things work differently and certain people have different opinions and lifestyles. And, that's all. Respect is key foundation, and you will be all right. All right. So don't worry about it. They're not going gringo hunting. It was just some overly, overt frustration shown by a certain percentage of the population. Okay. Anyway, that's all I got for you today, y'all. Just wanted to touch on that. I'm going to start preparing. I got my trip I told you guys that I was doing. So I'm almost done with that. Going to head to the airport in a couple hours. And then you're going to see what's happening next. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. That helps the channel and it is greatly appreciated. If you want to support the channel, I'm going to put a link to buy me a coffee. $1, $5, whatever you can do, it's appreciated. That way I can bring you all more epic content. So stay tuned. Another video coming soon in a new country. And then after that country, another country that's going to be new. So you get all new content. We're going out of Mexico for the first time in the channel. And I hope you all like what I'm bringing to you. So thank you all for watching. You have a great day, great night, wherever you are. Stay blessed, and I'll catch you on the next one.